Episode 001, Quantum Jitters. Introduce quantum uncertainty and Heisenberg's principle. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle is a foundational concept in quantum mechanics that defines the fundamental limit to how precisely certain pairs of physical properties of a particle, like position x and momentum p, can be known at the same time. Proposed by Werner Heisenberg in 1927, it states where delta x is the uncertainty in position, delta p is the uncertainty in momentum, and h is Planck's constant. 2. What does it mean? If the position of a quantum particle, such as an electron, is measured precisely, its momentum will become highly uncertain. If the momentum is measured precisely, the position will become uncertain. This is not a result of imperfect measurement, but a property of the quantum world. Particles have both wave-like and particle-like behavior, so their exact location or momentum cannot be pinned down simultaneously. The principle also applies to other pairs, like energy and time. Measuring the energy of a system very precisely means its timing is uncertain, and vice versa. Why does it matter? The uncertainty principle places a fundamental limit on what can be known and measured in quantum physics, rejecting the classical idea that all variables can be known exactly with perfect tools. It also explains phenomena such as the stability of atoms. Particles cannot be precisely located, avoiding collapse into a single point. In summary, quantum uncertainty means nature itself introduces an unavoidable fuzziness when describing fundamental properties at the atomic scale, reshaping our understanding of the microscopic world. Why particles jitter, even at absolute zero. Particles jitter even at absolute zero because of quantum fluctuations, a direct consequence of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Unlike thermal vibrations caused by heat, these zero-point motions persist even when all classical thermal energy is gone. Quantum physics dictates that it is impossible for a particle to be fully at rest with a precise position and momentum. Attempting to pin down one introduces uncertainty in the other, forcing the particle to always retain a baseline of movement, called zero-point energy, Phys plus 2. This persistent jitter is a property intrinsic to all quantum systems. At absolute zero, where thermal agitation stops, quantum fluctuations remain, preventing particles from ever being perfectly still. These fluctuations drive fascinating phenomena like quantum phase transitions and the very stability of matter at its most fundamental level, AIP plus 2. Summary: particles jitter at absolute zero because the laws of quantum mechanics forbid perfect stillness. Even in the complete absence of heat, uncertainty leaves everything with irreducible quantum motion. Reddit plus 2. Playful analogy: the universe as a sleep-deprived grad student. Imagine the universe as a sleep-deprived grad student stumbling through late nights and caffeine-fueled confusion. It's trying to juggle 1,000 complex tasks at once, wavering between focus and distraction, like quantum particles flickering between states. Just like the grad student who's only half awake, the universe never quite settles. There's always some uncertainty and jitter as it figures out where it is and what it's doing, reminiscent of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Sometimes it overthinks, frozen in hesitation. Other times it races ahead on a caffeine high, like particles unpredictably jumping around. Despite the chaos, it pushes stubbornly toward its goals, evolving, expanding, slowly piecing together the big picture in fits and starts, like late-night breakthroughs and moments of inspiration amid sleepiness. In short, the universe is that groggy grad student who can't quite rest but keeps experimenting, dreaming, and creating. An eternal mix of frustration, uncertainty, and brilliant discovery, all fueled by quantum weirdness and cosmic caffeine. Human fear tie-in, chaos, and loss of control. At its root, humans dread unpredictability. When patterns break or when rules we've relied on no longer apply, fear kicks in. Chaos unsettles us because it strips away the sense of control we depend on to feel safe. Psychologists point out that control is really about prediction. Our brains thrive on knowing what comes next. When that ability disappears, we feel anxiety, stress, even paralysis. It's why people often prefer a danger they can see to one they can't. At least with a known threat, the rules are clear. You've probably felt this. Road rage during traffic jams, loss of control over movement. Panic during turbulence on a plane, loss of control over survival. Anxiety during a job loss or financial crash, chaos disrupting stability. Societies exist to fight chaos. We build laws, routines, and rituals to keep order in place. But when chaos enters through politics, technology, or nature, it cracks that order. And when the scaffolding falls, the fear is personal. That's why chaos is such a powerful theme in stories and in life. When the ground shifts, we're forced to decide, cling to order or surrender to the unknown. That moment of choice is universally human, and it's why the fear of losing control resonates so deeply. How randomness drives creativity, mutation, and evolution. When you hear the word randomness, you might think of chaos, rolling dice, static on a TV screen, or the unpredictable detours of daily life. But randomness isn't just noise, it's fuel. It's the hidden engine behind creativity, mutation, and even evolution itself. Think about creativity. If our brains only worked in straight lines, step 1, step 2, step 3, we'd never invent anything new. Random connections spark breakthroughs. That aha moment when two unrelated ideas suddenly collide, that's randomness at work. Jazz improvisation, brainstorming sessions, even the jokes we tell, they all rely on unexpected twists that couldn't be scripted in advance. Now zoom down to the microscopic scale. In biology, randomness shows up as mutation. DNA isn't copied perfectly every time. Tiny errors slip in, random changes that might hurt, help, or do nothing at all. Most mutations vanish, but every so often, one sparks something extraordinary. A new trait, a new advantage, even a new species. Without random mutation, life would stall in place. And that's where evolution steps in. Natural selection doesn't create possibilities out of thin air. It chooses from the random mutations already on the table. In this way, randomness supplies the raw material, and evolution acts as the editor. Together, they've written the story of life for billions of years. So the next time randomness frustrates you, when plans go sideways, when things feel uncertain, remember, randomness is also the source of possibility. It's how artists innovate, how life adapts, and how the universe keeps unfolding. Randomness isn't the enemy of order. It's the partner of progress. Cultural riffs, Schrödinger's cat, quantum woo, and sci-fi. Randomness. It feels messy, unpredictable, even a little scary. But randomness is also where new things are born. It fuels creativity, drives mutation, and shapes evolution. And if you've ever heard of Schrödinger's cat or stumbled into some quantum woo, you already know how deeply randomness has infiltrated our culture. Take creativity. Random sparks give us breakthroughs. Whether it's a jazz musician riffing into uncharted territory or a writer tossing dice to pick plot twists. Even Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment about randomness in quantum physics, has jumped from physics journals into pop culture. It shows up in t-shirts, memes, even sci-fi movies where characters joke about being both alive and dead until someone checks. That leap from math to meme is creativity powered by randomness. Now zoom into biology. Mutation is randomness written in DNA. Most changes fizzle, but some give us new traits, new adaptations, even new species. Science fiction riffs on this all the time, from the X-Men's mutant powers to Star Trek episodes where random mutations create whole new life forms. The scary part is real. Mutations are unpredictable, but so is the magic. Without them, evolution would grind to a halt. And then there's evolution, the great editor. Natural selection picks from random mutations, keeping what works and discarding the rest. But here's where culture gets playful. Quantum woo often hijacks the language of randomness and uncertainty, applying it to everything from healing crystals to self-help slogans. It's pseudoscience, sure, but it proves the point. Our fascination with randomness runs so deep, we'll bend it into any story that helps us make sense of life. So whether it's Schrödinger's unlucky cat, sci-fi mutants, or the latest bit of quantum woo, randomness keeps showing up in our stories. And maybe that's because deep down we know randomness isn't just noise, it's possibility. It's the spark behind every invention, every mutation, every leap forward in evolution, and every good plot twist. Podcast script, quantum foam and randomness. Randomness doesn't just shape creativity, mutation, and evolution, it underpins reality itself. At the smallest scales of the universe, space isn't smooth or calm. It's frothing, bubbling, restless. Physicist John Wheeler coined the term quantum foam in 1955 to describe this strange idea, that space-time itself is constantly fluctuating. At these unimaginably tiny distances, close to the Planck length, about 10 meters, particles appear and disappear, energy flickers in and out, and the very geometry of space jitters unpredictably. To us, it looks like chaos, but this quantum randomness is the raw material of everything we know: galaxies, stars, life itself. Quantum foam shows us that randomness is not a glitch in the system, it is the system. The bubbling, jittery fabric of spacetime creates possibility. From that possibility, structure emerges. In this way, the foam at the foundation of reality mirrors the role randomness plays in creativity, in mutation, and in evolution. Randomness isn't just noise, it's the spark of everything. Reflective moment, embracing uncertainty in daily life. We spend so much of our lives chasing certainty. We plan our schedules, we make lists, we set routines, but life, at its core, is unpredictable. Plans change, opportunities appear out of nowhere, storms roll in uninvited. What if, instead of resisting uncertainty, we leaned into it? Uncertainty is uncomfortable because it strips away the illusion of control, yet it's also the space where possibility lives. Think about the most meaningful turns in your own life: a chance encounter, a job you didn't expect, a relationship you couldn't have scripted. None of those came from certainty, they came from the unknown. Embracing uncertainty doesn't mean giving up structure. It means holding our plans loosely, with enough humility to know the universe may have other ideas. It means seeing randomness not as chaos, but as the raw material of growth. So the next time uncertainty shows up, whether in small disruptions or big life changes, pause. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What might this make possible?" Uncertainty is not the enemy. It's the invitation. Guided closing meditation script. Before we close, take a moment to pause with me. If you can, sit comfortably. Let your shoulders relax. Unclench your jaw. Notice your breath, steady, effortless, flowing in and out. Now, bring to mind something uncertain in your life right now. It could be small, like an unanswered email, or large, like a change on the horizon you can't quite see clearly. Whatever it is, let it surface gently. Feel the tension that uncertainty stirs up. The mind wants to solve it, to control it, to predict every outcome. That's natural. But for just a moment, set aside the need for answers. Picture uncertainty not as an enemy, but as an open space, a blank canvas, a horizon not yet drawn. Just as randomness sparks creativity, mutation, and evolution, your own unknowns may hold the seeds of growth, connection, or transformation. Breathe in, accepting that uncertainty exists. Breathe out, releasing the need to control it. Say to yourself quietly, "I don't have to know everything right now." Another breath, "I can live inside the unknown and let it teach me." When you're ready, bring your attention back to the room. Carry this small truth with you. Uncertainty is not a void, it's an invitation. And by embracing it, you open the door to possibility.